Hello, how are you? Are you focused? Today I'm going to do a buying guide for the 1 million line by Paco Rabanne. I've got 5 fragrances here to go through. If you're unsure which Paco Rabanne 1 million you should go for, this video will hopefully be quite educational to you and will give you an idea as to which one you prefer. Enjoy the video. We're going to start with the original 1 million in the iconic 1 million brick bottle. Now, if you haven't seen this before, I'd be very surprised. This is one of the most iconic fragrances in the men's designer market, and probably one of the most iconic fragrance DNAs, especially in the men's designer market over the last sort of 2 decades or so. This DNA is so recognizable, and you're going to be, when you first smell this, if you don't know if you've tried 1 million, you're going to be kind of hit with that realization that you've smelt this everywhere. People you know would have worn this. People you meet on the street, in parties, in bars, anywhere would have worn this at some point, so you would have smelt it, that's for sure. The original 1 million changed the game for men's fragrances. When this first came out in 2006, 7, around that sort of time, there wasn't a huge amount of sweet fragrances on the market for men. This was a real introduction for men to sweet fragrances. Now this opens up with a really iconic, really recognizable grapefruit note. It's really zesty, it's really juicy, it's really sexy. It's a very nice grapefruit note. You've also got some spices like cinnamon, you've got a nice mandarin note, and then in the base it's going to be basically sweet leather. So that's the best way I can describe it. There's a slight leather note, a little bit of rose, but it's mainly going to be sweet, so that's going to be from a tonka bean or something like that. But 1 million is a sweet fragrance, slightly spicy, and you're going to have this lovely grapefruit note in the opening. As far as I'm aware, this used to be what you would categorise as a beast mode fragrance. This used to really project, last a very long time, and people could smell it from the other side of the room when someone would wear it. This is a modern formulation. This is like this year's or last year's bottle, and it's a bit more reserved. It doesn't project as much as perhaps the older versions did. I remember I had this when I was 16 years old, and it used to really project. It was a room filler. Now it's a bit more reserved, but it still smells exactly the same. Now I think if you don't own this or haven't owned it before, it's definitely worth checking out because it is a nice fragrance, and it's one of those fragrances that you can have in your collection as a reference point. It's one that you can go to when you smell other fragrances, and you can kind of go, yeah, they got that inspiration from Paco Rabanne 1 million, because a lot of fragrances on the market now got their inspiration from 1 million, so it's definitely worth owning. Moving on then to 1 million Lucky. Now I've always really enjoyed this actually. I've had it in my collection for about 2 years, and it's one fragrance that I do really enjoy, especially in my designer fragrance collection. This opens up really, it's different to the original 1 million. This opens up more fresh. You've got ozonic notes, you've got a nice kind of honey note, but you've also got the grapefruit still. And as I say, the honey, the sweetness in this comes from honey, which you don't get in the original 1 million. And in this fragrance, in 1 million Lucky, you also get this really interesting, really well done hazelnut note. So you get the honey mixed with the hazelnuts, you get this real sweet, nutty fragrance, which I think is quite unique. It's quite creative, and it puts a really good spin on the original 1 million. Now this is going to be a very fun fragrance to wear. It's not going to be a serious fragrance, not one that you should wear formally, but it's one that you can wear casually. It's one you can wear to pretty much any occasion. What I like about 1 million Lucky is the fact that it is sweet, but it's also fresh and it's interesting. So you've got the nice hazelnut note, it's fresh in the opening with grapefruit and ozonic notes, and it's also sweet from the honey. So if you're looking for a fragrance you can wear casually with those characteristics, 1 million Lucky is a great choice. Now this next one is probably the best in terms of how well it's put together. It's the most grown up of the 1 million line, and it's one that has been ever so popular since its release. It's 1 million PRIVE. Now this gets a lot of rumours about if it's discontinued or not. I'm not sure if it's been discontinued. Here in the UK it seems to be readily available, and I never have any issues buying bottles. Now when I say this is a more grown-up version, or it's the most grown-up version of the 1 million line, that is because this has a lovely tobacco note. So this takes the original formulation, and this adds a lovely tobacco, which gives this a kind of mysterious, interesting quality. You've still got some similar notes like cinnamon, you've got the spices, It's very sweet as well, so you're going to have the tonka bean or a vanilla in the base, which is going to give it the sweetness. But you've got this tobacco, and tobacco is one of my most favourite notes. And you mix tobacco, you mix that with cinnamon. It's a really lovely, spicy, interesting fragrance. So I would always recommend anyone, especially if you're looking for a date night fragrance, to check out 1 Million PRIVE. Now I need to apologise for the state of my bottle on this next one. This is 1 Million PARFUM. For some reason the notch came off here. This has a 1 million sign, which I'll put up on the screen so you can see the actual bottle. Now 1 Million PARFUM, this came out maybe 2 years ago maximum. It's really quite a new release by Paco Rabanne. And I found this to be quite a surprise when I first tried it, because I thought they would carry on with the trend of making sweet fragrances and making them more mass appealing and this kind of thing, but they didn't go in that direction at all with this flanker. They made this to be a summer 1 million, but it's not like a fresh kind of fragrance. It's more like a solar, sunny, salty fragrance. If you imagine what sun cream smells like when you've been on the beach all day, so your skin is salty and you put sun cream on, this you'll get a really good idea of what this smells like. So this for me is a 1 million for the summer. It's when you want to wear this to the beach, when you're on holiday, sat by the pool, you can wear this and it would work really well. It's got a lovely saltiness in the opening, like from an ambergris, but probably synthetically created. Some solar notes, so it does smell like sun cream. Now, as well as the notes that I just listed, this also has a white flower note, so something like a tuberose. So if you've ever smelled Mancera's Holidays, it's a similar vibe. It doesn't smell exactly the same. Mancera's Holidays is slightly more challenging and stronger. This is a more, I would say, easy to wear Mancera Holiday. You could also say Frank Bocklet Cocaine, which I've got here. That is very heavy on the tuberose, but they don't smell anything alike. This is a very heavy niche fragrance, which we'll talk about another time. So 1 Million PARFUM, very good to wear when you're going on holiday, very good to wear in the high heat, and it's a very strong performer. This works really well. This lasts 8 hours on my skin anyway, and does project really well. On to the last one, and the newest from the 1 Million line. This is a flanker that came out this year, about 6 months ago, and I did a first impressions video on this, which I'll link down below and you can search for it on my channel. This is the new 1 Million ELIXIR. Now, in my first impressions video, I didn't speak so highly of this. Obviously, in the first impression, you don't get such a you can't really go into what a fragrance smells like and how it lasts and how it develops, because it's a first impressions. But I remember when I tried this on camera, I just wasn't that impressed with the creativity. I wasn't that impressed with how they changed the 1 million and then made an elixir, and I was just expecting more, I think, from it. I thought they were going to make it really heavy. I thought they were going to make it a more challenging fragrance. Make the original 1 million, but make it more challenging and a lot stronger. But they didn't do that. This is just very sweet. Opens up very, very sweet. You have got a kind of semi-interesting apple note at the top, but after that it goes to a very sweet mess. It's just tonka bean, it's vanilla, and it's, for me it's too sweet and it lacks the creativity. And when I say it lacks the creativity, the reason why I say that is because the other four that we spoke about today are all very creative. So the original 1 million it's a blockbuster of fragrance, isn't it? It was a fragrance that came out and every man almost owned it. It was the start of sweet fragrances for men. 1 million lucky with the honey and the hazelnut, very interesting. Paco Rabanne, PRIVE, tobacco and cinnamon. The Parfum version we spoke about, it's a solar, it's salty, great for the beach, great for hot weather. But the ELIXIR just misses the boat, doesn't really do anything extra for me. If you want a really sweet fragrance with that are better quality and better scents, you could go with something like Stronger With You. I think that's the idea of where they've gone with this. They wanted a kind of Stronger With You type fragrance, or you could go Zara The Most Wanted. It's also a better fragrance. So yeah, for me, fan of the other four, really like the other four, but this I'm not too keen on, and I have given it enough time now, and I don't think I'm going to warm to it, unfortunately. So as for my favourite, it's going to be either the PARFUM, because I love the saltiness, I love the solar notes, or it's going to be the 1 million PRIVE, because tobacco is one of my favourite notes and I find that very interesting. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you got something from this buying guide video. Put a comment down in the comment section. Let me know your favourite 1 million. There might be some that I missed out, some fragrance 1 millions discontinued I didn't include in this list. So let me know, guys, and I'll speak to you in the comments. Take care.